So, let's talk about that secret ingredient, the one thing that can take a wedding from just a nice event to a truly unforgettable, magical experience. And nope, it's not the cake or even the playlist, it's the atmosphere. Today, we're going to break down exactly how lighting and decor team up to tell your story and create a vibe that your guests will be talking about for years to come.
You know, this quote just hits the nail on the head. We tend to think of lighting as just, well, a way to see things, but it's so much more than that. It's really the emotional paintbrush for your entire day. Think of it as the silent narrator that's telling your love story without ever saying a word.
All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll get into why ambience is really the heart of your story. Then, we'll dive into how to speak the language of light, how to paint with color, and see how the right decor just takes everything to the next level. And finally, we'll put it all together to bring that dream vision to life. Let's do it.
Okay, first things first, let's completely reframe how we think about ambience. It's not just some background detail. No way. It's the main event. It's the story of your celebration told visually through every single choice you make.
The real goal here is to create this totally immersive world for you and your guests, a place where every little detail feels deliberate and meaningful. Any venue you choose, whether it's a grand marriage hall or a beautiful garden, is essentially a blank canvas. Your design choices are the brushstrokes that turn that empty space into an environment that screams you. Now let's get into the good stuff, light itself. The best way to approach this is to think of light as a language. And just like any language, it has some basic rules. Once you get a handle on its 3 foundational layers, you can pretty much craft any mood you can imagine. And what's great is how simple this really is. You start with your ambient light. That's your base layer, right? It's that overall warm, inviting glow that makes the whole space feel welcoming. Then you add accent lighting. This is your spotlight, your storyteller. It draws everyone's eyes to the important stuff, the gorgeous floral arrangements, the cake, or the main stage. And finally, you've got task lighting. This is the unsung hero, the practical light that makes sure people can see their food and find the bar easily. So the real magic happens when you balance these 3 layers perfectly. It's not just a technical thing, it's an emotional one. Getting this balance right is what creates an atmosphere that feels both enchanting and totally effortless, letting your guests just relax and get swept up in the moment.
Okay, so we've got the structure of our light down. Now let's add the emotion. Let's add color. Because the temperature of the light, whether it's warm or cool, has this direct, almost scientific effect on how everyone in the room feels. And this chart breaks it down perfectly. You've got your warm light, think candlelight, that beautiful golden hour glow. That creates a feeling that's romantic and intimate. It's absolutely perfect for the ceremony and for dinner. But then you have cool light. This is more modern, more energetic. That is your secret weapon for the reception when you want to get everybody onto the dance floor. All right, so our light is structured, it's colored, but it doesn't work in a vacuum, right? It needs a dance partner. And that partner is decor. This is where you see some real synergy, because the materials you pick aren't just sitting there, they're actively playing with the light you've so carefully designed. This is such a great rule of thumb to keep in mind. Lighter fabrics and surfaces are going to bounce light around, making a space feel bigger, more open, more airy. On the flip side, darker, richer textiles will literally soak up the light, which creates this amazing sense of depth, drama, and intimacy. Neither is better, it all just depends on the story you want to tell. And you can get really clever here by using specific items as tools to manipulate light. I mean, mirrors, they're a classic for a reason. They bounce light everywhere and make a room feel huge. Metallic accents like gold or silver add that essential sparkle. And even something as simple as glass vases can catch the light from candles and create these beautiful shimmering patterns on your tables. Okay, we have all the pieces of the puzzle. Now for the really important part. How do we actually put them together to create a seamless experience that flows beautifully from the start of the day to the very end? This timeline really tells the story of that flow. You might start with a daytime ceremony, relying on that gorgeous, soft, natural light, maybe with some candles. Then, as the sun sets and twilight comes in for the reception, you slowly introduce warmer elements like string lights and lanterns. And then, when it's time to party, you bring in the dynamic layers. Maybe some colored uplighting for drama, and spotlights on the dance floor to really pump up the energy. It's all about that careful, beautiful progression.
And listen, to make sure that journey is absolutely flawless, here are a few pro tips. Dimmers are honestly non-negotiable. They give you that real-time control. Smart systems can even automate the changes for you. And think practically too. Energy-efficient LEDs are a fantastic, sustainable choice. And please, always have a backup plan. A few well-placed battery-powered lights can be an absolute lifesaver if something goes wrong.
So, as we wrap this up, it all comes back to this one simple question. When you thoughtfully combine the light and color and decor, you're not just decorating a space, you're building a world. You are crafting a story that people will feel from the moment they walk in. So, what story will your celebration tell?